What's up everybody, Chad Lorich here at Music Max Distribution, the distributors of WesAudio's amazing digitally controlled line of analog processors. You know, after years of products like the NG Bus Comp, the Dione compressor, and the Prometheus EQ, WesAudio is pushing the needle with their digitally controlled Phoebe 500 series mic preamp. So why would you want a digitally controlled preamp? Well, after all you see that the Phoebe is capable of both in tracking and mixing, I have a feeling you're going to love the classic tone and the new creative possibilities that it gives you. Let's check it out. So I'm sure the first thing you're going to ask is, what does the Phoebe sound like? Well, I tell you, the Phoebe has got character for days. And the flexibility in tone is incredible on a lot of varying sources. There are two Carnhill transformers in the Phoebe, one on the input and one on the output. These transformers and the overall circuit design are true to the classic British style preamp characteristics that we've been using for decades. Warm lows, punchy mids, and airy highs. All right, to start with, let's check the Phoebe out on vocals. I have an Audix 133 here, and I want to sing a phrase through the Phoebe a few times to show you some different tone options. You'll see on the front panel we have an XLR and 1/4 inch combo connector, which is perfect for mic inputs, line, and instrument inputs. We can switch over to the rear chassis connections with the front rear switch, which gives us another set of mic and line inputs. You know, a super cool feature of the Phoebe is that it will actually remember settings for both, almost like two presets. So you can have your front side connector using your line input or mic input and then have a different set of inputs on the back side and use that for mixing. Super cool, and we'll check that out in a little bit. Okay, let's get back to the vocals. We can get up to 75 dB of gain with the Phoebe, which is perfect for low output microphones. And just like the classic British preamps, we can push the input and really beef up the tone and the saturation. WesAudio's iron pad function happens after the output transformer, so we'll get all that tone all the way through the circuit. Let's check out the vocal with a medium input gain and no pad. Like mine above, and he lives so differently than me. All right, how about we now push the gain up, but pad it down to get a saturated vocal, but then also a good level to our DAW. Like mine above, and he lives so differently than me. This type of tone control makes the Phoebe perfect for clean signals with warm lows and airy highs, as well as aggressive signals with sounds like rock vocals, drums, guitars, and even synths. The Phoebe also has an impedance switch, moving your impedance from the default 1200 ohms down to 300 ohms. This allows you to optimize the pre for lots of microphone impedances. For me, I love using the 300 ohm settings with the 57 on a guitar cabinet. It's a little bit more thickness in the low mids and a little less edgy in the top end. All right, let's move on to drums. One trick I love to do on drums is having what you call a crush mic or a trash mic. If we crank the gain on the Phoebe, plus add some compression with the WesAudio Mimus, we get that fat saturation from the Phoebe and the pumping from the Mimus that works really well blended in with other drum mics. Let's head over to the studio and try it out with an SM7B. We'll have Aaron come in here and experiment with the gain and the pad. Back in the studio here, I want to take some time and show you the digital control of the Phoebe. This is really where the Phoebe is truly a standout. Let's go ahead and call open the plug-in interface. We have full bidirectional control over the front panel with the GUI. This is huge because it lets me stay in the sweet spot when I'm trying to critically listen to tone and levels with the Phoebe. Plus, of course, when I save my session and reopen, the plugin calls up all of my preamp settings so I can get back to work very quickly. I have really precise gain control on the plug-in. Of course, I can adjust the stepped pad as well. I have very precise meters both on the front of the Phoebe as well as here in the plug-in. I can change between mic and line. I can even switch between the front and rear connectors. And all of this is savable, recallable, and even automatable. So now that brings us to using the Phoebe in mixing. Imagine getting all those classic preamp tones on a pre-recorded track, or even your stereo bus. For example, I have a mono synth line here tracked directly into my DAW. Now I can insert the Phoebe and experiment with new tone and saturation options. Or better yet, how about on my drum bus? If you have two Phoebe pre's, you can use them perfectly linked together for stereo operation using a stereo version of the Phoebe plugin. As you can see, the WesAudio Phoebe is an incredibly powerful 500 series preamp for both in tracking and in mixing. You get an exceptional recreation of a classic British preamp, built with modern flexibility and digital control and recall. Preset settings on both the front and the back connectors, detailed metering, input and output Carnhill transformers with the iron pad, plug-in control, and stereo operation. The WesAudio Phoebe is way more than just a preamp. It's a timeless tool with modern features and attention to contemporary studio needs. If you like what you're hearing in the Phoebe and you want to learn more, be sure to reach out to your WesAudio dealer. Take care and thanks for watching.